everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the Gamefira podcast. Once again, I'm Chris, and I'm joined by Justin.
Hello, everyone.
And Austin.
Hi!
Hey, guys! So, this being our second episode, we can consider ourselves seasoned veterans now. Not really. But,
I have a fan base already.
We had a lot of fun. We last time, I believe we had said we hadn't quite decided if we were going to do this monthly or bi-monthly, and I think we had so much fun that we kind of decided we want to try to do it bi-monthly. So, every 2 weeks we will have a new episode. Don't hold us to that. But that's what we're shooting for. So, today's episode, another 3 subjects. The first one up is going to be my subject, which is the Oculus Rift. I don't know how much you guys have watched on the Oculus Rift. I had just kind of, heard about it in passing until recently, and a video caught my eye, so I decided to look into it more, and I'm just amazed by this thing. So basically, for anybody who doesn't know, the Oculus Rift is purported to be the next step in virtual reality. It's a headset, in which those things have been around since the 80s. People have been trying to come out with virtual reality headsets, and it's always been kind of hit or miss, usually more miss. But I think this time we've got the technology, and it's turning out really cool. So first impressions, what do you guys think of the Oculus?
It still looks silly, but I like it. The first video that we watched was gameplay for the game alone. For the most part, the game puts you within what we saw. The game puts you within a virtual living room.
Yeah, it's a game within a game.
Yes, in this particular case, it was a game within a game. You're in a virtual living room, and you are playing a video game within this video game. Play a character who goes through this corridor, picking up ambiguous, creepy notes, and as you're progressing through this tunnel, within the living room, you have all these sounds that are coming at you, and
stuff is going down.
It's gonna,
kind of Paranormal Activity-esque, and you can tell a lot of the titles that are out right now. Of course, the Oculus Rift is not on the market yet; it's only in development. And a lot of the titles are also, they're just they're demos, they're tech demos, they're abstract ideas that people have kind of been playing around with. So they're not finished products. There are a couple out there that are pre-polished, but for the most part, everybody's still trying to learn it and work with different operating systems to build the games. I know it's got Unity support. I think also the Unreal Engine is working with Oculus now, and the thing's got huge support from the gaming community. All across the gaming community, some of the biggest game studios are showing support for the Oculus and trying to do something with it. It was really cool. That Alone video that Justin mentioned was actually the first one that I'd really paid any attention to, and it's just amazing the level of immersion. And I think that's really the game changer. Is with a lot of the older virtual reality stuff, they didn't really work. You had this small field of view. It's basically like strapping a small TV set to your head. Because I played around with a couple of them back in the day, and I'm actually a pretty big fan of the Virtual Boy, which is nothing like the Oculus Rift, other than the that it straps to your head basically.
Your retinas will bleed. It's all in red.
Like I said in the last episode, I am a fan of the Virtual Boy. I know I'm in the minority on that, but anyway. So, it's not a fully developed product yet, but I think it has a lot of potential. What do you think, Austin? What are your thoughts on the Rift?
I want it. I want it now, and I want it at my house so I can play every game that I possibly own on it. See, the thing is, I don't have spare money sitting around just to buy a headset.
thinking of that. How much is it running right now, Chris?
It's,
I think it's 300 on Amazon.
It's
$300.
$300 for the developers kit,
Yes.
Oculus Rift, which is not the final product.
No.
They're still trying to iron out, the bugs in it. They're trying to make the graphics better. I think right now, I think the highest I've seen it go up to is 720p. So
It's still pretty high.
Yeah, it's still pretty high, but it'd be better if it was all the way up, 1080, and really get some really cool graphics going, and really, that would up the immersion level. I know the latency issue has been an issue that they're working on. They just actually released, or they're taking pre-orders right now for a latency detector that hooks up to the Oculus, so developers can test the latency in their games. So that's a useful tool. And other than that, I mean, there's issues here and there. I've heard there's some nausea issues. That's always an issue with anything like this, any 3D effect or virtual reality. There's always a nausea issue. There's always people getting headaches, blah blah blah.
That's what happens to me in real life.
Yeah,
if you couldn't handle Cloverfield, you won't be able to handle this.
I personally don't get motion sickness, and I've never been affected by any of that stuff.
Well, aren't we fond of ourselves, Chris?
No, I understand that people do get affected by a 3D effect, and it causes headaches or whatever. It just personally, to me, it doesn't have any effect on me. So I really like stuff like that. I mean, is it a game changer? Is it going to change gaming? No, probably not. I think the consoles aren't going anywhere. It's
not for a while, at least.
It's a cool addition. And especially if they can get the price point right. $300 right now for the developers kit. They're trying to improve it. They're trying to make it better. They don't have a price nailed down just yet for the retail model when it comes on the market. But they have stated they want to stay around that price point. If they could drop it a little bit, they will. If they have to go a little bit higher for better technology to get those better graphics or better latency, they said they will. They don't want to put it, in the $1,000 range, because that makes it, where most gamers couldn't afford it. But at 300, 400, I think that's doable.
Absolutely.
Especially for hardcore gamers and people that, and man, there's just so many cool ideas.
The biggest selling point, like Chris said, is immersion, and it really does it might raise the bar down the road for the idea of creating an atmosphere. At the moment, what we noticed was the biggest components of the experience are the audio-visual aspect. I think at this point, we're long enough video games that we can appreciate the work that goes into the visuals for a video game. That could be from an artistic stance, it could be from a technological stance, and the same thing with the work that goes into original music that is composed.
Man, I mean, if they can make this thing work correctly, it could be so amazing. Like I said, it's already running on with Unity and the Cry engine, I believe. Or not the Cry engine, the Unreal engine. If they can get it to work with the Cry Engine 3, the newest one, that would be epic. Because I don't know if you guys have seen the graphics that thing can produce, but it's amazing.
I had a conversation the other night with a guy that I worked with actually about this, and you guys were saying like you said, Chris, that you don't think it's going to be like a big step. This guy had a completely opposite opinion. And I'm not agreeing with both, either of you, but I just want to throw out a different viewpoint.
Okay.
That he was talking about, some shows or movies that you've seen. You see people virtual reality playing just a normal play their video games. Uh-huh. And I feel like if people actually did want to do that eventually, this would be a step in the right direction. I mean,
oh yeah.
It's really close to feeling I've heard people say, you feel like you're in the game, you feel like you're actually there, you feel like this is happening. You see in some movies people put on this helmet and then boom, they're in the game. I don't feel like, at least not now. We're nowhere even close to that.
We're not stepping into the Matrix just yet.
No.
We haven't.
We don't have the codes yet.
it could get to that point, but like you said, this is a step in the right direction.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be a standard. You're not going to have it to play, the majority of major releases. But there will be some cool, games out there. There already are a lot of developers, especially with the horror genre, which there's been a big upsurgence in the horror genre with the indie developers. Anyway, with Slender and games like that, and the indie developers are really embracing the Oculus.
They'll run with it.
Oh yeah, and we've watched a couple different horror themed games be played. I mean, can you imagine? It's bad enough playing it on a console or on a computer, but with the Oculus on, I mean, you really feel like you're there. If they can get the graphics there, and the latency problems worked out, and really immerse you in a horror game, that could be crazy.
Yeah, it's the reason that we go to 100 houses during Halloween. It's not that we really want to put ourselves in a scary situation, but we do want that brief temporal immersion.
It's the thrill. It's
yeah.
We want to scare the crap out of each other and ourselves, and if you don't play horror games in the dark, you're doing it wrong. And I think the Oculus just takes it even to the next level. I mean, you're putting yourself in it. So I think that could be really cool. Final thoughts. I think it's really cool. I will probably try to pick it up when it comes out. It really all just depends on the price point and if the major consoles are supporting, and who all's supporting it. If there's a big enough library and the price is right, I'm probably gonna buy it.
Yeah, also, if you guys haven't watched the videos or any videos of the Oculus Rift, go look up the one that they were talking about a while ago, because it explains everything that this thing can do in just one video. I mean, it's amazing if you watch the whole thing. So
go check out our Facebook. We posted some videos on there. I'm sure we'll post more. I'm really trying to stay up on this thing now, because it's really piqued my interest, and
okay.
I'm tempted. I'm almost tempted to buy a dev kit.
We can go halvesies.
We could go halvesies.
But I won't, because I don't like you.
Oh, shut up. So anyway, I think all of us are, pretty much like it, and it's an awesome idea. Go check it out if you haven't seen anything on it. Go check it out and read up on it. It's really cool. The website, I believe, is just oculusriftvr.com for the main website, and it's got all the information on there. Go check that out. So anyway, guys, comments. Leave us some comments. Leave us some feedback. What do you guys think of it? You can leave those on our YouTube, on the Facebook, facebook.com/Gamefira, or hit us up on Twitter, and tell us what you think, and we'll try to talk about some of that stuff on the next episode.
And if you have an Oculus Rift already, if you just DM me, I'll give you my address and a signed autograph of Chris Earl's face.
Yeah, for sure. We'll trade. It'll be an even trade. So I guess we're ready for the next subject, which would be Austin's.
Yeah, guys. Normally, I think we were planning on starting with the worst story, which Chris usually picks, and then ending with the best, which has been mine since last time. But I guess we're going with mine this time again, because I'm always second best. But I picked Pokemon X and Y because everybody loves Pokemon. Obviously, there's a fly. I heard a fly. That was a loud fly. Was that a fly? Ooh, Pokefly. I would hate to have that Pokemon. Anyway, it releases on October 12th. There is Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. I believe it's only for the 3DS. Yes. Right, guys?
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pokemon X and Y, obviously, is the next entry in the Pokemon series, the illustrious Pokemon series.
Sixth generation.
Yeah, sixth generation. Stepping into 3D on this one. So a little bit different graphic style is one of the main differences. They've made several different announcements of different stuff going on. you know, I'm personally, I'm gonna pick it up.
Which one? Which one though? Are you gonna get X or Y?
I haven't decided yet.
For anyone who may be wondering what the differences are, the way it has always worked is for each generation that's come out, you have 2 versions of the same game essentially, and what the differences are. You often have very slight differences in the storyline, but the biggest thing is that there's several different Pokemon. Which version you get determines which ones you can catch, so you gotta team up with your friends who have different versions to catch them all. And if you don't know this, you probably lived under a very racist rock for the last decade.
Well, and I've got a confession to make on that note.
Oh, here we go.
Which I've mentioned this a couple times on our Facebook and stuff.
Dude, kill that fly. Yeah.
I have in fact never played a Pokemon game.
That's okay. That's quite alright.
Okay.
If you notice earlier, I said something about hating you, and this is why.
This is a perfect time to jump right in. I'm not holding it against you.
So I'm a little bit older than these two, and so when Pokemon first started coming out, you know, I was too cool for Pokemon. You know, I was playing more adult-themed games. I was, you know, in high school. I was, you know.
Yeah, pretty much what he's saying is when the first Pokemon came out, he was at least 32 years old. It's been a couple of years. So.
Anyway, I in fact never played a real entry in the Pokemon series. I have played some of the side titles, the Stadium, Pokemon Stadium, and stuff like that. So this is going to be my first major foray into the Pokemon world. Really looking forward to it. You know, I'm gonna, you know, and also introduce my kids to the Pokemon series with this game. They have also never played a Pokemon game.
You are depriving your children of joy.
For anyone who is unfamiliar with the formula of the games, it is essentially a Japanese RPG where you assume the role of a male or female protagonist. You go around catching Pokemon, make them fight each other to make them stronger, and then you go around the game's world defeating the gym leaders who are Pokemon experts with the ultimate aim of becoming the best Pokemon trainer in the world.
But they do stay in one room at all times, and you will never see them outside of this room.
That's not. No, I don't know. The last couple of games have had some that actually had
Well, I don't
in the story.
I didn't play past Silver for.
Good sir. We've had 3 generations go.
No. I'm wrong. I played Sapphire, and
that was 10 years ago, sir.
I was an age at that time. I hit that right age of Chris.
So tell us, what are some of the changes they've made? Other than going to 3D, so I think you already mentioned that.
Well, they changed the Pokemon, obviously, like they do every generation.
There are new Pokemon every generation, yes.
Yes, there are new Pokemon every generation. I can kind of describe what the new starter Pokemon are. They changed... I don't know if you guys are familiar with Pokemon and the Pokemon games. You know that you evolve your Pokemon to a certain point, and then you just keep leveling them up. And now, I believe, what did you say it was, Justin? It was Super or Mega Evolution.
Yeah, they have Mega Evolutions.
Yeah, which is eventually what I read up on was you have to have a Mega Stone, and I believe it's only for a certain amount of time. But it makes your Pokemon essentially look more bad A and fight better. Well, some of them.
Makes your Pokemon go Super Saiyan.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like if Goku were to take 3 Senzu beans at once, he would become a Charizard.
We're looking at temporal stat boost for the battle. It's pretty much what we're looking at. Any new form. Yeah. So it does bring a new spin.
A little bit of controversy.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of blowback on that. Actually, a lot of people get butthurt about the Mega Evolutions. I don't see what the big deal is.
It's just some of them. It's not all of them. A lot of them actually look really cool. It's just one of the favorite Pokemon, and I was heard about it for a little bit because I thought it was a permanent thing and they were never going to change it back. If you are a fan of the Pokemon saga, any of the, you know who Mewtwo is, and I thought that they had changed Mewtwo into what I knew at the time as Mew 3, who was just terrible, and I know I had some people say that he was, he looked cool and this and that, and I don't like the way he looks. In my opinion, I thought he was stuck like that forever. He's not. It's just the Mega Evolution state. He's Mewtwo Mega. So that was a big thing. Another one of the changes, though, that I want to point out is the dynamic battle system, where they have changed up a lot. I mean, it's still essentially the same. Trying to think of like some games that I have played as examples. Maybe Fire Emblem, which is a turn-based RPG. You go to battle your opponent, and when you do, you get to select your attacks, yada yada yada. The play style, but instead of just clicking attack and you see your opponent or your character kind of just lunge forward and see an animation on the character, you actually see the full animation of the character.
Yeah,
and
well,
everything.
A lot of people might get mad, but it's about time. I mean, most RPGs have progressed to that point since Final Fantasy VII?
Taking Final Fantasy, for instance, they have to change it up and keep it fresh, and that has been received with both positive and negative criticism.
Oh yeah.
You can't please everybody. I'm glad to see that they're trying something different, and they're trying something. They're trying to make use of the currently available technology on the 3DS. And going back to the turn-based battles, Austin, one way they're mixing it up is with flying-type Pokemon and Pokemon that levitate. There were actually mid-air battles that they're going to.
Yeah, and I saw that they actually added a fairy type, so that should be right up your alley, Austin.
What? No. Here's what I am so confused about. I read that the fairy type were strong against, I can't remember if it was either psychic or dragon type. Dragon type? What?
Yeah.
What?
The fairy type apparently can smoke dragon type.
To get anybody caught up on what all this talk about fairies is, just like in any RPG, monsters, they always have some sort of elemental characteristic. You have fire types, water types, grass types, fighting types, flying types, rock types, Jebusites, mosquito bites. But one of the most overpowered types in the game up to this point have been dragon types, and they only have 2 weaknesses out of the, I believe it's 18 types at the moment. A new type is being introduced called Fairy. Of course.
So they're trying to level up the playing field.
Absolutely.
Okay. That makes sense.
I don't know
why it's fairy type. I don't really care.
Yeah,
but I can completely understand trying to balance the game.
Which they have had to address quite a few times since the first generation. The character that Austin was talking about, Mewtwo, the strongest character in the first generation of games. Later games they had to balance out the stats and not make him such a powerhouse.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this before, like, in the beginning, you caught a legendary Pokemon, you knew you were going to win half the fights that you were fighting. Absolutely. And now it's at the point where, they've leveled it out so much that, legendary Pokemon are almost, they're cool to have. You have a legendary Pokemon, and it was hard to catch them, yet,
They have average stats now, which
They have average stats, yeah.
Because, if you go online and you watch people play Wi-Fi battles, there at this point there are over 600 Pokemon. It's nice seeing that people don't use the same 10 Pokemon. That's nice. You see people with a wide variety of different characters using different stats and abilities. It's great.
That being said, about the legendary Pokemon, I don't see the point in one of the newest ones. My opinion, please don't get mad at me, anybody. I don't know why a legendary Pokemon is a deer.
Well,
you have something against deer.
One of our most beloved legendary Pokemon, Mew. It's a pink mouse. There you go.
This is true.
It's a pink naked mouse.
Yeah, that's a little ridiculous.
So Justin, you're getting it, right? You're gonna get the new Pokemon.
Okay.
We're gonna play it.
I will admit, I'm a college student and I work a part-time job. I can't jump on every title that comes out. I am excited about this new generation. However, for anyone who has been in this game long enough, they know that with each generation you get 2 different versions of the same game. for instance, for the first generation, you had Pokemon Red and Blue. About a year later, you always get a director's cut. You get a new installation of that same generation. In Red and Blue for Generation 1, we got Pokemon Yellow. If you played Gold and Silver, you know that we got the director's cut called Pokemon Crystal. It's essentially the same game, but normally they add a few more elements to the main storyline. They add a few more Pokemon and a few more NPCs, and to make it worth buying it, I'm not going to partake this time of X and Y. I'm expecting a Pokemon Z at some point. Or I might expect what they did with Black and White. I'm expecting a Pokemon X and Y 2, a ridiculous title, but I am expecting it. So I'm going to wait.
He's going to wait for the director's cut. I'm not.
So what you're saying is I'm going to be stuck playing with Chris, who not only has never played a Pokemon game in his life, but probably is very unfamiliar with Pokemon past Pikachu.
Okay, but you act like I've never played an RPG.
And that's right, if you've played a JRPG, you will be right at home with level grinding and exploring towns and picking up items in dungeons. It's formulaic. It's going to look nice. And don't worry, Austin, with the advent of online gaming, I may not be there to enjoy it with you, but all of our fans will, and the millions of Pokemon fans who have kept this series afloat.
And it's gonna
decade.
Yeah, it's gonna be huge.
If anybody wants to trade Pokemon with me, DM me as well. I'm gonna say something about DMing me after this point.
What start are you going to start with, Austin? Normally with the games, you choose your first Pokemon from a Pokemon professor. You always have the grass type, the fire type, and the water type. Of course, each Pokemon has its own elemental weakness, so there really is no right choice. Go with personal preference. Which one do you think you'll go with, Austin?
From what I've seen, I hate frogs, so that's what I saw. If I'm correct, if I'm on the right game, so I'm not going with water type.
Okay.
I heard a song recently about a fox, and I think that's what the fire type is.
A song about a fox?
What does that fox? What would that fox say?
What does that fox say?
I believe it's something along the lines of ring ding ding a ding as soon as you release it from its Pokeball.
That's an interesting onomatopoeia.
Or if you actually if you tickle it, it says hati 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 ho.
Sounds accurate.
I think that's correct. I think that is 100%.
Do I win?
Scientifically.
You're going with the fire type then, right?
Yes, I always go with the fire type. Honestly, I honestly would probably beat the game and go back through with all 3 Pokemon just because I do that when I get a Pokemon game. So I'll start with the fire type. I'll probably end with the grass type because I find them eventually just completely useless in any battle. But
I'm going with the grass type when Pokemon.
See, now I'm glad that you're not that you're waiting.
Yeah. Okay, so we're all gonna pick it up. Justin's gonna wait for the director's cut, but Austin and I will be playing. So, like Austin said, we'd love to trade Pokemon with you guys.
Don't DM Chris, just DM me.
Yeah. Hit us up on Facebook, facebook.com/Gamefira. Also, don't forget to check out the website. It's going to be at the bottom of the screen during the whole episode, Gamefira.com, and basically we post the latest news from around the internet. So, moving on, subject number 3 for today's episode is going to be Justin's, and what are we going to talk about, Justin?
Hold on. Drum roll again.
We don't get a drum roll. Shut up.
Fine.
I wanted to talk about possibly the best superhero game series this side of the Genesis. I wanted to talk about Batman Arkham Origins. It's prequel to the commercially successful and critically acclaimed Batman Arkham series. The first being Batman Arkham Asylum, and the second one being Batman Arkham City. The game, for the most part, Batman is, I would say he's hiding a pretty successful wave at the moment with the fans, casual and hardcore.
Batman is huge right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody is trying to get a piece of Batman.
Even Ben Affleck.
Even Ben Affleck. Yeah, but we're not going to get into that.
No.
But yeah, so Arkham Origins, like Justin said, is a prequel to Arkham Asylum, Arkham City. Looks amazing.
It looks amazing. The Arkham series has done just about everything that it's attempted to do well. It's atmospheric, as a Batman game should be, unless you're an Adam West fan. It's
Mayor Adam West.
The third-person melee combat, perfect. It's for those of you who are big fans of sandbox games. There's a big open world to traverse. Batman has various gadgets that let you get from point A to point B in interesting ways. And also, Batman makes use of those gadgets to solve crimes and to solve puzzles. Which, I'll be honest, I'm kind of on a kick with BBC's Sherlock. From what I've understood with Arkham Origins, there's going to be a heavier emphasis on solving crimes and analyzing crime scenes. Which really, I mean, like I said, it was featured in past games, but it did.
Wait, Batman's a detective?
I know. That's the thing about the Batman character is, yes, he's a bad A ninja who can fight, but he's also a detective.
If you've only know Batman from the movies, then you probably have no idea that Batman is originally his main characteristic is his detective ability.
Yes, he should be the main character in every spin-off of CSI.
I mean, you know, going back to the comics, I mean, you know, combat was always kind of second to Batman's detective skills, and you know, the Arkham series just does great with all the different modes you can go into. Detective mode, you can follow like DNA trails, and I mean it's really cool.
And maybe looking for specific compounds in the atmosphere. The only thing is that you're kind of boxed in with what you can do with that. They're mostly there just for you to get from point A to point B in the plot. We're looking possibly at a lot of side missions where you can actually witness a crime taking place, looking for clues as you're watching it, and using some deductive reasoning skills to reach a solution.
Wait, we gotta use our brains?
If anyone played LA Noire, I'm hoping this might pander to a few of those fans.
That would be really cool, actually. So yeah, the Arkham games are amazing. I expect nothing less from Origins. Lots of new characters. Deathstroke.
Yeah, Deathstroke's new.
Deathstroke's going to be coming in. They actually just announced a playable mode with Deathstroke.
They have the good Bane.
Yes, they have the real Bane. So that's cool. I mean, it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. And before we get too far into it, probably the thing that makes me want to play it the most, if you don't know already, the Joker is going to be in this one. I mean, he is the #1 Batman villain.
He's the iconic.
He is the iconic.
Antithesis.
He is the antithesis of Batman. So obviously he's going to be in this game. Mark Hamill, who is famous for voicing the Joker, has retired. He's retired from doing the Joker voice, so they had to get a new person to do the Joker. They did. And so, who did they choose, Justin?
They went with Troy Baker, and if you played any video game or watched almost any anime or animated television series, you've probably heard the man's voice.
If you've played any major release games in the past 2 years, you've probably heard his voice, even if you don't know his name. Troy Baker is a huge talent, stepping up into the iconic role of the Joker. We've only seen small clips so far, but so far he looks amazing.
Yeah. I was expecting him to kind of bring his own thing, kind of the way Heath Ledger did with The Dark Knight. But from what we saw, he's going with the Mark Hamill-esque Joker, and it seems spot on. I was definitely surprised, and
yes,
I was pleased.
I expected to be impressed, but I was blown away. There was a lot of speculation before Troy was announced as the Joker, who it was going to be. I know a couple of people had put up different videos on YouTube and such of clips of the various people that have played the Joker, and kind of going back and forth who they thought it was going to be. And,
Guys, go ahead.
I don't think anybody could have done it better than Troy is.
And if we haven't convinced you, going back to the depth stroke character, he's pretty much the poor man's boring man's Deadpool. So,
yeah.
In case you're wondering.
If you don't know who Troy is, let's see, what hasn't he been in?
The most recent thing I can think of that I loved, and I'm sure everybody by now has played it. BioShock Infinite. He was Booker.
He was Booker in BioShock Infinite. He was actually in the last Arkham City games. He actually played Two-Face.
Yes.
He was the main character in The Last of Us.
He played Kanji in Persona 4, or Persona 4 Golden for the Vita owners.
Yeah, tons of anime experience. Final Fantasy
13.
13.
Yes, played Snow.
Yeah.
Played Vincent in Atlas's Catherine.
Yeah. So, I mean, Troy is in everything right now. Huge voice actor, and he's amazing.
He could be in your refrigerator right now.
He could. From the small clips we've seen, he does a great job on the Joker. It's amazing, and I expect the full game to be nothing less. So, I mean, what else about Arkham Origins have we seen?
If you're just a big Batman fan and you love the atmosphere of the comics and the darker storyline, like I said, this is a prequel, so we're looking at a less experienced Batman, and it's the game takes place in Gotham City, of course. But like for anyone who's big into sandbox games, the third-person melee combat's great. Voice acting is, per usual, has been great. Like
It's
I said,
been spot on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we're hoping it brings something a little more substantial to the table as far as puzzle solving is concerned.
Going back to the voice acting, there's also a different voice actor for Batman this time. Is not Kevin Conroy, who has been who was famously the voice of Batman. I can't recall right now who was actually playing the voice of Batman. So we'll see how that pans out. That's going to be an interesting twist. Obviously, like Justin said, it's going to be a younger Batman, so there's a little bit of leeway there. But Kevin Conroy is kind of the iconic Batman, so we'll see how that goes.
Roger Craig Smith, if anyone wants to know.
Roger Craig Smith. That is going to be the new Batman. Voice of the Batman. Not talking about Ben Affleck.
Yeah, let's not talk about it.
He played Ezio in Assassin's Creed. Sorry.
Okay, so
I had to look that one up. Sorry, guys. if the conversation seemed a little stilted right there, hey,
smartphones for the win.
We're an open group, and we won't lie to you. We believe in honesty and openness.
So what do you think, Austin?
I would like to point out that I don't want to throw out scores, but I know that Batman Arkham City got a 10 out of 10, and I completely agree with it. I don't condone. I don't know if that's not even a word. Anyway.
Condone?
Condone. Haha.
Oh, and another strong aspect is its stealth. For like a week after playing it, I wanted to like hide behind corners and just pounce people as they walked by.
I do that all the time.
That fun.
I do that all
That's
the time.
why I got in trouble, and I get kicked out of high school for 3 days, and that didn't actually happen. But I can make up stories because people don't actually know me. But yeah.
But now we're making up stories. Anyway, it looks like a great game. I definitely want to pick it up. It's going to be huge. It's going to be great. I don't see them doing anything crazy to, completely break the game. I think we'll stick, to the formula that's worked so far, that made the other two games so great. I think it's going to be good. And I'm super excited for Troy, taking on the mantle of the Joker.
Our bat nipples are excited.
Our bat nipples are excited. Val Kilmer. Anyway,
Clooney.
George Clooney. Oh yeah, that was in the George Clooney movie.
Yeah.
Batman. Oh yeah. Oh, another cool thing. Also, with all the Arkham games, they have had a lot of DLC, different skins for Batman, different costumes. This one is no different. They actually just announced the season pass, which is a discount for $20. You can get all of the different downloads, the different skins. I think there's actually a different play mode. There's 5 different DLC packs in all for $20, which is a pretty good deal. So I will probably be checking that out. If nothing else, just for the 60s era Batman costume. The Adam West costume is going to be in this game. So you'll be able to play as Batman in the Adam West 60s costume.
Curb stomping people in Adam West costume.
So I'm definitely going to pick that up with the game. So
he found them.
Oh god, Austin is showing us pictures of bat nipples. Anyway, I think that about wraps it up for this episode, guys. Thanks again for everybody tuning in. We appreciate it. Please, leave us some feedback. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like. Tell us what you think about Arkham Origins, Pokemon X and Y, the Oculus Rift. Let us know. I think we are going to try in the next couple episodes to possibly bring on a special guest. Maybe try.
Who could it be?
I don't know. Maybe try to switch it up. Bring on a different guest. Maybe every episode for a little bit different insight. And see who we can find. We'll see how that pans out. As always, go check out the website www.gamefira.com for the latest gaming news from around the web. Come join us on Facebook. Give us a like, and we're always posting the coolest stories, having discussions about basically all this stuff, we talk about on here, and everything else. And also on Twitter, at Gamefira. Come chat with us, ask us questions, whatever. Bug us, we don't care. Send us pictures of bat nipples. It's whatever.
DM me.
Yeah, DM Austin.
Also, when Chris says leave us feedback and tell us the bad things, please don't have them kick me out of this, because I need this. And if you want to say bad things, you should DM them to me.
Or just be creative, and we'll completely let it slide. Just be creative and be funny. That's what we want.
If you're gonna troll, at least be creative about it and entertain us while you're doing it.
I'm tall, skinny, and I have a big nose. Go.
And if you have any suggestions for the next episode, any topics you'd like to hear us talk about, or any suggestions for a format or whatever, send us a message, comment on the video. Please share the video and help us get it out there. And I guess that's about it, guys. So until next time, this is Chris saying goodbye.
And this is Justin saying take care.
I'll see all you guys in my dreams.
No, this is Austin saying that if you DM me, I'm going to DM you back. And if you don't, then I'll see you in your nightmares.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.